Imagine being accused of stealing millions, with your own login as proof. That was his nightmare. Everyone turned against him. No one believed him, except one person, his 19-year-old daughter, who saw something no one else could. What she discovered that night would change everything. Her father had worked at the bank for years. A quiet, honest man, respected for his diligence and sharp mind. Every day he woke early, prepared his notes, double-checked every figure, and arrived at the office long before his colleagues. To the bank, he was reliable, precise, and fair. To his family, he was warm, caring, and patient. He laughed at small jokes, shared stories from his work, and offered guidance with unwavering patience. He loved numbers, patterns, and logic, and had often encouraged his daughter's curiosity, teaching her that observing details could uncover hidden truths. She loved puzzles and challenges, never realizing how much those lessons would matter one day. Life was steady, predictable, and honorable until the day that routine was shattered. It began with a missing sum of money. A huge amount vanished from the bank's accounts. The logs showed that the transaction had been authorized using his login. To management, the evidence was clear. He was guilty, but the truth was far more complex. Every night he double-checked his work, followed every rule, and still, suddenly, he was being accused of a crime he didn't commit. When he returned home that evening, the change in him was immediate. His usual calm demeanor was gone. His shoulders slumped. He barely spoke. He sat silently, staring at the table, lost in thought. The man who had once been a pillar of strength now seemed crushed under the weight of false accusations. His daughter noticed the sadness etched across his face. She could see the worry, the silent despair, and it ignited a determination she had never felt so intensely before. She decided she would not let this injustice stand. She stayed up late that night, thinking about every transaction, every number, every pattern she could observe. She considered every possibility. How could someone have framed her father? Could it have been a human, or something else entirely? She made notes, scribbled possibilities, and eliminated what didn't make sense. Her mind raced, analyzing every small detail, connecting dots that seemed invisible to others. She whispered to herself, "I know he's innocent. I just need to prove it." The next evening, her father sat at his desk again, reviewing the logs, his eyes tired, his body weary. Exhaustion eventually overtook him, and he fell asleep. That was her moment. Carefully, she opened the laptop and began her own analysis. The night stretched on, but she didn't notice. Her eyes scanned every number, every transaction, comparing times, checking amounts, searching for patterns. She almost missed it at first, a tiny anomaly that could have been overlooked. And then she saw it. Certain large sums were leaving the account at exact, repeated times. Not approximately, not randomly, but perfectly timed. Her heart pounded in her chest. No human could be that precise. This was no ordinary theft. This was an automated script working quietly, deliberately behind the scenes. The next morning, she explained what she had discovered to her father. He was skeptical at first. Could a 19-year-old really see something he hadn't noticed in years? But as she walked him through the patterns, step by step, he realized she might be right. Together, they devised a plan. The bank would monitor the system while he was present, but all other employees would be gone. They would observe the transactions in real time without interference and catch the truth in the act. One misstep could ruin everything, and the weight of that possibility made the plan tense. But her father trusted her insight. She was calm, analytical, and determined, a force of quiet intelligence he had never seen before. Love the story so far? Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe. Join our family here at Stories by Uncle Bright and get ready for more clever, exciting tales. Hit the bell and let the adventures begin. Finally, the night arrived. The office was empty and silent except for the faint hum of computers. They waited, every tick of the clock stretching longer than the last. The tension was palpable. The daughter's eyes scanned the logs carefully, anticipating the next move, her heart racing with every second. And then, at exactly 2:05 a.m., it happened. Another huge sum left the account. Her father hadn't touched a thing. The automated script triggered as she had predicted, linked to the server of a senior manager in another branch. The truth was undeniable. He was innocent. Her father's hands trembled. His eyes filled with tears. His daughter had saved him from ruin, proving not only her cleverness but her courage. Relief washed over him in a wave he had not felt in days. He realized, with pride and gratitude, that the one person who truly understood the truth had been right beside him all along. The following day, the bank reinstated him and promoted him for his integrity and diligence. But the real hero was his daughter. The office displayed her portrait in honor of her bravery. Staff photographed her proudly. Colleagues praised her insight. Her father, tears streaming down his face, called her his auditor general. For him, it was more than a promotion. It was pride, relief, and the affirmation that someone believed in him when the world doubted. For her, it was a lesson in persistence, intelligence, and courage. This story reminds us that intelligence is not measured by age, and courage is not measured by strength. Sometimes, the quietest, smallest person sees what everyone else misses. Observation, patience, and logic can change lives. A single person, even a young adult, can uncover truth and justice against incredible odds. Her father learned that diligence and honesty will always matter, even when it seems the world has turned against you. His daughter learned that determination, courage, and intelligence, when combined with patience, can solve problems that seem impossible. She learned that one person can change the course of events, that quiet insight can outsmart even the most elaborate deception. And so, the story ends with a father reinstated, a daughter celebrated, and lessons for all of us. Never underestimate the power of observation, the intelligence of youth, or the force of determination when guided by truth. Sometimes the quietest minds are the sharpest. Sometimes the smallest voices can be the loudest in revealing the truth. If you enjoyed this story, remember to subscribe to Uncle Bright Tales. Here, every tale brings courage, cleverness, and the power of truth. The next story may shock, inspire, or leave you questioning everything you thought you knew. And remember, sometimes the smartest person in the room is the quietest one.